Hello, this is Paul Drockton, and today we're going to talk about sovereign debt. Now, what's going on in Cyprus right now is being blamed on what is known as the sovereign debt crisis. Sovereign debt worldwide is estimated at about $50 trillion. Now, this is the second major crisis that obviously the world is facing, and when we talk about sovereign debt, we have to ask ourselves the question, how can nations go into debt? Well, of course, we know the answer to that. First is through social spending. The second is through military spending. So really it's a combination of the right and the left that drag a country down into debt. So we need to recognize that, so we realize that when we talk about this left-right paradigm, we talk about individuals who are causing us to lose the wealth of our nations, that they come from both the right and the left. The left, of course, agitates for social spending, for and in behalf of the banksters, and the right, of course, agitates for military spending, for and in behalf of the banksters. Now, this practice goes all the way back, my friends, to the Knights Templar, who basically were the first banksters of Europe. And through their agents, they agitated for extreme social spending via the Catholic Church, and dragged the Catholic Church into debt on one hand, and on the other hand they fomented war among the kings of Europe, the monarchies. Now, sovereign debt in and of itself is a manageable number. What magnifies the number, what increases the number, is credit default swaps, which are basically bets against sovereign debt, or bets that countries will go into default over their sovereign debt. So when we start talking about derivatives, we're talking about credit default swaps. We're talking about multiple bets against the same debt. And when you understand that, you can see why right now globally there's about $2,000 trillion of these credit default swaps, these bets against not just sovereign debt, but other forms of debt. Now, if we go back and we look at what happened with the subprime mortgage crisis, which supposedly brought about the collapse of 2007 and 2008, we can see that we were talking maybe billions of dollars worth of debt, and yet the Federal Reserve gave away $32 trillion as a result of the subprime mortgage debt crisis. This was a result of credit default swaps, or bets against that subprime debt. So when we talk about billions versus trillions, if we compare the subprime mortgage mess to where we find ourselves today with sovereign debt, we can see that clearly that the trillions and trillions of dollars of sovereign debt and the bets against them are going to drag this world down, literally, and we're going to end up with currencies being virtually worthless. Thank you for listening today. We'll be back and we'll talk more about this. Again, you can hear me on Republic Radio, or if you're interested in purchasing gold and silver, you can contact me, Paul Drockton. Simply email me, pdrockton@aol.com, or visit my website, internettruth.org. Have a great day.